Jaya Jaya Śrī Caitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Jaya Śrī Caitanya Nityananda. Jaya Jaya Śrī Caitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Śrī Caitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Jaya Śrī Caitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Rama Rama Hare Hare. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So we are continuing Caitanya-caritāmṛta from Madhya Lila, chapter 15. So we were speaking the other day. The other day we were speaking about Raghava Pandit and his devotional service, how he would collect coconut from the villages far, far away, because these were the best coconuts. He was inquiring which are the best coconuts in the region, and he would walk 20 kilometers to get coconut. Although he had many trees, coconut trees, but he didn't think this was good quality enough for Krishna, because for Krishna, everything has to be the best quality, the best preparation, in the best possible environment. He would clean these coconuts and put them in the cold water to cool, so he can offer to Krishna. And Krishna was so pleased with his devotion that he would drink coconuts. So he would offer, then he'd come back and they would be empty. Krishna would drink them all. And he said when Raghava Pandit, saw that the coconuts are empty, he would be very, very pleased, and he was very transcendentally ecstatic, because he saw that Krishna ate my coconuts. He was very happy. We spoke many points on that, and one main point is that devotee is interested in Krishna's satisfaction, and when Krishna is pleased, then devotee is automatically pleased. So we don't need to endeavor to please ourselves, as everybody else in the material world try to please themselves artificially, and they usually somehow never complete. But when one pleases Krishna, then Krishna automatically, as Prabhupada gives the example, like a leaves. If you try to water the leaf, it's nice, but it doesn't go directly to the root. But if you water the root, the leaves are automatically nourished. So this is what we do when we try to do anything for Krishna, not just cooking, any service, anything. Even when we come in front of Krishna in the morning, we do not come, well, of course, we come to see Krishna, but in the same way we come to show ourselves to Krishna. Here I am. And we dress nicely, we put tilak, we take shower, because we want to come in front of Krishna in guten Zustand, in good form, and also externally and internally too. And therefore people chant, and we chant Mangalartik, and then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, in his one lecture or one article, he says, who is the seer and who is the seen? The seer, the beobachter. Wer beobachtet, wer ist beobachter? So Krishna, we think when we see Krishna, we are the Bhel Bhakta, we see Krishna. But in reality, Krishna is the Bhel Bhakta. He sees us because we do not see the whole reality. We see, like for example, if you see the Puppentheater, the this Spiel theater, the puppet theater, So everybody's watching, and then you think, wow, this is the world there. But in reality, you're confined a little seating arrangement, and the whole world, there's a whole world behind you. So Krishna sees everything, the whole world, the whole material world, the universe, the material universe, the spiritual universe, and then we are standing there in front of him, and we are coming to see Krishna. It is rather funny proposal, but the more we become realized, the more we see Krishna's glories and Krishna's greatness. In the Bhagavad Gita, in the chapter when Krishna showed the universal form to Arjuna, he gave him this Daivi Netrena, the divine eyes, and Arjuna could suddenly see thousands of mouths and thousands of ears and hands, and Krishna's gigantic form. The Krishna's actually form was no different from the entire universe. This is a huge form. And then Arjuna realized, oops, this is not my friend. This is some amazing personality. So he offer obeisance. I offer obeisance from the front, from behind, from the underneath, from above. I offer obeisance from everywhere. And Krishna said, oh, that's okay. That's not necessary. I would like to rather to have you as my friend. And then he took this divine eyes and he could see normally as Krishna again. Which is another, we also spoke this the other day about the different rasas. There's different rasas and devotees prefer certain rasa. And Arjuna, this was rasa of friendship, naturally. So, so this was the glories of Raghava Pandit. Now we're talking about prasadam. Just the other week for Caitanya-caritāmṛta, the glories of Raghava Pandit, how he prepared food with great care, with great the best ingredients. He paid so much money, and with great cleanliness. His servant was holding a coconut, and men. I don't know why we like to hold the door when we stand. Men like to hold the doors for some reason. The frame of the door. I noticed this. Somehow you stand there, and he was holding a coconut. And Raghava Pandit said, now is this whole ruin, throw it out immediately. And he said, well, why is it ruined? He said, it's ruined because people are walking through this door. So from their shoes, the dust comes and touches this frame of the door. So when you touch this, you contaminate everything. You contaminate your hand, you contaminate coconut. So this was the Raghava Pandit's great you can say, but the point is that this is not, I was thinking about this. This is like, you can say exaggerated, nobody, but this is not, he was not upholding the standards. We will uphold the standards. When I was in maybe 25 years ago, I was in one country and they were so heavy with rules and everything, and there was a karashi, and I cooked prasadam, and I had to move. There was different spices and different things. So I would move a bag with rice or something like this. It was closed bag, sealed, a plastic bag. And I would just move it like this. And there was like this temple president, what have you done? You ruined the whole kitchen. So what have I done? You touched the grains. I said, first of all, I did not technically touch the grain because grains are inside. And even if I touch the grain, you can wash it. And this was like a huge offense. I couldn't offer this what I cooked or whatever. I said, okay, then you should. So this is upholding the standards. But Raghava Pandit was not upholding the standards. Raghava Pandit was mad in ecstatic love for Krishna. So that's why he acted as he acted. As also I mentioned last time, the different devotees in their madness act in different ways. He acted in such a way. Vamsidas Babaji, Bhakti Vikas Swami has written this book, Vamsidas Babaji, about the glory of this one Baba or a saintly person was so much in love with Krishna, but he was very, as we call it, avaduta, spontaneous. We can more relate to the avaduta than to the other one, of course. But in the essence, they are the same, because they are, both of them are deeply ecstatically emotional towards Krishna. So he would, sometimes he was so ecstatic, he would peel eggplant and he would put eggplant in the water and offer it to Krishna. Plain, uncooked eggplant in the water. So from our position is like, what is this offering? But this is because we ultimately cannot see. This level is a different level. So we have upholding our standards. We have certain standards. Prabhupada is very clear what the standards of the kitchen should be and what the standards of the offering should be. Out of them, the most important is to not taste before you offer to Krishna. Because nowadays, people are, you watch any cooking video, they're all like, needs more salt, This is buchi, contaminated the whole thing. But this is what everybody does. So basically, this is advice for the internet. People who watch, do not taste before offering to Krishna. And, there are some other standards. For example, when we were in Simachalam some years ago, and the sanitary inspection came, and he was lecturing us, very authoritative. He said, before you enter the kitchen, you should wash your hands. And we started laughing. So he said, why are you laughing? So we are laughing because we take shower before we enter the kitchen. And we dress new clothes, unused. And he was, wow, these standards I've never heard in my life. So for him, this was the super high standard, which he has never heard. So devotees, we have very high standard of cleanliness, very high standard of boga, we don't offer to the deities things which are bought mostly, and things like this. So these are very high standards, but we uphold it. But this, what we talk about, Raghava Pandit, this is the higher standard. This is a standard of love. And in his loving madness, he did this. So don't confuse the two. This is the point. Don't confuse the two. So today we'll read about Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya's offering prasadam to the Lord. As we are still keeping the prasadam topic. One day, Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya came before Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu with folded hands and submitted a request. Since all the Vaishnava had returned to Bengal, there was a good chance that the Lord would accept an invitation. So all these devotees from Bengal had left. So it's only Puri devotees stayed in Puri. So he thought now is a good chance to invite him. Because when the Bengali devotees come, they bring prasad and they do all kinds of things. So Lord Chaitanya spent time with them, and then they go. So Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya said, please accept my invitation for lunch for 1 month. Every day, for ein Monat. Sārvabhauma said, please accept the invitation for 20 days, because probably Lord Chaitanya did not react. I said, then please, 20 days. When Sārvabhauma requested Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to accept lunch for 15 days, the Lord said, I shall accept lunch at your place for 1 day only. Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya caught hold of the Lord's lotus feet and submissively begged, please accept lunch for at least 10 days. This is Indian bargaining a little bit. Oh, 10 days, no, 1 day. Okay, how about, let's see what Lord Chaitanya answered. So one interesting point here is this, this is the actually, let's call it culture or Vedic culture or culture in general, that actually because we were speaking also, I think last week, I don't remember which anymore, about the sannyāsī ashram, vanaprastha ashram, brahmacharya ashram, and grihastha ashram. Particularly grihastha ashram is the one which is supposed to invite one of the dharmas of the grihastha ashram is to give charity, and another one is to invite the holy people to come to lunch. So therefore, Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya is fulfilling this dharma, inviting Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of course, to lunch. So he wanted first 1 month. Lord Chaitanya did not say anything. Then he said, how about 20 days? Nothing. How about 15 days? Lord Chaitanya, 1 day. So there's a little bit bargaining going on. In this way, Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu reduced the duration to 5 days. So in the end, they got it 5 days. Thus, for 5 days, he would regularly accept the Bhattacārya's invitation to lunch. So this is, again, good lesson for the Grihastha devotees, or good instruction to the Grihastha devotees to invite actually devotees to their homes. Because in this way, you learn how to give away, you can say. Because if you invite somebody, you have to host them. You learn how to host, which means you learn how to serve the devotees. And then you learn how to give away your valuable money so you can buy for the guests, and you learn how to, make the best for the guests. Because one of the lessons of Grihastha ashram is to learn slowly to be renounced and to serve the Lord. Because in Brahmacharya ashram, this is what you do. You're just renouncing everything and you're serving the Lord. So when you enter Grihastha ashram, you have to do gradually. You cannot. Shri Gaura Nitai ki Jaya. So after this, he said he wants to accept 5 days. Sārvabhauma said, "My Lord, there are 10 sannyāsīs with you." Purport: a sannyāsī should not cook food for himself or accept an invitation to eat at the devotee's house continuously for many days. So this is Lord Chaitanya also give example as an ideal sannyāsī. Few days, okay, but not to live on somebody else's, back, as you say. I was just 2 days ago, I looked at a little bit. I didn't watch the whole thing. The film about Shankaracharya. This was fascinating. This is the sannyas I would like to take. Maybe, I don't know, maybe next life, maybe not. He would take sannyas when he was 8 or 9 years old, and he would just in Copen, he would just go in the forest alone. There's nobody to cook for him, nobody to, whatever, paying the airplane ticket. There's just him and the forest and animals, and he would be there and he would get sick, and there was a tree fell on him once in the night. So this is, in this way, the sannyasi learns how to actually be detached and learn the philosophy of life. Everything, of course, he's an impersonalist, but from our point to see how everything is moved by Krishna, everything actually Krishna moves the material nature, and recognize Krishna everywhere. Samoham sarabhuteshu. So the sannyas should not cook for himself or accept invitation to eat at the devotee's house continuously for many days. In the Caitanya-caritāmṛta and the pastime of Raghunadas Goswami, it is said that the one who is too dependent on somebody else, if the renunciate is too dependent on others, it loses the pious credits. So this is also a good lesson for the renunciates. So Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu was very kind and affectionate towards his devotees, yet he would not accept a long invitation at Sārvabhauma's house. Out of affection, he accepted only 5 days in the month. So then Prabhupada lists the next 10 sannyāsīs: Paramananda Puri, Swarup Damodar, Brahmananda Puri, Brahmananda Bharati, Vishnu Puri, Keshava Puri, Krishnananda Puri, Narasimha Tirtha, Sukhananda Puri, and Satyananda Bharati. These are the sannyāsīs who lived with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he makes an arrangement about the sannyāsīs. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu agreed. Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya's wife was known as Satira Mata, the mother of Sati. She was a great devotee of Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu, and she was affectionate like a mother. After returning to his home, Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya gave order to his wife, and his wife, Satira Mati, began cooking with great pleasure. The whole action now is going on. I'm sure there's all kinds of servants are going to the forest to collect shak and all kinds of things, and everything is getting preparation for a big thing. Because imagine if Lord Chaitanya would come here, he would announce, call today on the phone, and he said, "Tonight I'm coming, take prasadam in your house." We would make the best the best of the best. At Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya's house, there was always a full stock of food. Whatever spinach, vegetables, fruit, and so on were required, he collected and brought back home. Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya personally began to help Satyamata cook. She was very experienced and she knew how to cook nicely. On the southern side of the kitchen were 2 rooms for offering food. In one of them, the food was offered to Shalagram Narayan. So this is how they offer food to Narayan, Shalagram. The other room was for Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu's lunch. The Lord's lunch room was very secluded and it was newly constructed by the Bhattacharya. The room was so constructed that there was only one door opening on the outside, which served as an entrance for Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu. There was another door attached to the kitchen, and it was to that door that the food was brought. So this was door only for Lord Chaitanya. This is a special arrangement. So now we are going to the preparations what Krishna, what he cooked. First, 3 manas of rice cooked, almost 6 pounds. That's around 3 kilos of rice.
Oh my God.
3 kilos of rice. Yeah, the expert here, they know what 3 kilos of rice means. And 3 kilos of rice. And this rice was poured onto a big banana leaf. These huge banana leaves. So Prabhupada says, this is the beginning of a description of the food prepared for Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu. This description is given by Kaviraj Goswami, who is assumed was also an expert cook and who knew how to prepare and how to serve food. So this is actually our religion, you can say, is very much connected to the food. The movement of Lord Chaitanya is very connected to the food here, very much. We can see in so many instances, the Lord Chaitanya, without prasadam, the pastime of Chaitanya is not going. The whole Puri pastime is about prasadam, basically. Our Lord Chaitanya would dance and he would get so sweaty and tired that they would sit and they would serve prasadam. And then they would take a little rest and they would again go to chant. So this is, and so many descriptions. There's a description of Raghavera Jala. This is the bag of Raghava Pandit, who was bringing these bags, him and his wife cooked from Bengal, all the way from Bengal. They would bring this description of amazing preparations. And they would bring it all the way from Bengal to Puri. They probably last several weeks to walk. I don't know how long it would take. Did anybody walk? I didn't. I think it takes like 10 hours or 12 hours by train from to Puri. So it will take probably several weeks to walk. So they would bring these bags full of food. And Lord Chaitanya would, and all these devotees would bring different kind of prasadam, and he would keep it in one room, just for prasadam. And then he would not eat it. And this disciple, the servant, Govinda, would say, Prabhu, my dear Lord, every day I got question from devotees in Puri, in Mayapur, did they eat my prasadam? And I cannot say you did, but because you didn't. And Lord Chaitanya, okay, I will eat it, I will eat it. And one day he said, now, after 1 year, he said, I will eat all of this. So this prasadam was 1 year in the room, and it was completely preserved in the fresh state. So Lord Chaitanya was just in 1 day eat the whole room of prasadam. So prasadam is very important, connected, and we see even Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami, he was an expert cook. And although he was a poet and wrote Caitanya-caritāmṛta, and so many others, even our own Prabhupada, he was an expert cook himself. When he would come to the West first, he would cook the Sunday feast himself. It says that in these memories of Prabhupada, the Prabhupada would make up to 100 chapatis. 100 chapatis himself, because devotees didn't know how to make chapatis. So Prabhupada would make 100 chapatis, and he would cook a feast for, I don't know, if it's 100, so say at least 30, 40 people. So Prabhupada would be an expert cook. And he would taste, and he would teach devotees how to be good cooks also. So then we have from you can say from the teachings of Prabhupada came this cooks, this Palika, this was this Mataji cook for Prabhupada. And Yamuna, of course, we have a cookbook, Yamuna's cookbook. This is all Prabhupada's influence, you can say, how Prabhupada stressed the importance of prasadam. Anyway, so we are coming back to the list. Pita sugandhi grita ana sikita kaila charidike pate grita vahya chalila. So pita means yellowish, sugandhi, fragrant, grite, clarified butter, anna, rice, mixed. This is all mixed with the fragrant yellowish butter or ghee. So the whole stack of rice, meaning 3 kilos of rice, was mixed with so much yellowish and fragrant clarified butter that began to overflow the leaf. Wow. So there was a big hill of rice, and so Advaita Acharya put ghee, and ghee was overflowing. So this is for those who offer food to Krishna. When you cook rice, that's to overflow the butter on top. Then there were a number of pots made of the bark of banana trees and the leaves of the kaya plant. Let's see what kaya plant is. I don't know how it does look like, but it's like a bush. I don't understand. Kaya plant.
Maybe some hot thing or
Maybe. So, and leaves of the kaya plant. These pots were filled with various cooked vegetables and placed on all sides of the leaf. So in the center was rice. This is Bengali style of eating. In Bengal, you have a big mountain of rice, and then the sabji is the sound around. So then you just put your hand a little bit, play with rice, and then you just put it and then you eat basically rice with some little taste of sabji. There was about 10 kinds of spinach, a soup called sukta, which was made with bitter nimba leaves, a pungent preparation made with black pepper, a mild cake made with fried curd, and buttermilk mixed with small fried pieces of dal. This is a chana bada. I think if this is what is a cake made of fried curd, I saw this when in Puri. This is like one specialty. It's like this. It's a little bit burnt, but it's made with paneer, and you bake kind of paneer, sweet paneer, and you can buy it in Puri. Actually, when I was young devotee, and one devotee told me, "You have to come to Puri." He said, "In Puri, he said, if you see the shop with all the sweets, he said, you will offer obeisance in front of the shops." And then we went to Puri, and then I saw it, I was thinking, wow, they deserve to be offered obeisance. Amazing sweets, So 10 kinds of spinach, and shukta is it's a bitter nimba leaf. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, I was reading the Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur in his ashram, because there's a brahmachari ashram, at that time, Mat was mostly only brahmacharis and sannyāsīs. So they also to preserve, this is also brahmachari food, nimba, bitter. Sweet is the opposite of brahmachari food, and brahmachari food is nimba. So this neem leaves, so did you taste neem leaves? So when I was living in India, you would eat, because it's also healthy. It's like killing the parasites. So we eat like every day 3 or 4. If it's fresh, if it's young leaf, the older leaves is too much. But the younger leaves you can eat like 3, 4. But he would cook special preparation in his Gaudiya Math. They cooked. It's a aubergine. Aubergine is eggplant with neem leaves, sabji, and that we eat this a lot. I would, maybe this time I'll ask somebody to cook, some Bengalis to cook. Sorry?
after this, you eat some little sweet rice.
I don't know. I'll ask somebody this year when I go to Mayapur to make this. Somebody in the village. That'll be interesting. Neem leaves and begon, they call it in Bengal. So, a buttermilk mixed with small fried pieces of dal. Oh, this also I know. Then there were preparation of dugda tumbi. Dugda tumbi is a squash cooked with milk. Then there will be dugda kushmanda, pumpkin cooked with milk. So the different squash with milk. Dugda kushmanda. Vesara, a preparation made from chickpea flour. Lapra. Lapra means combination of several vegetables, like a sabji. Mocha ganta, boiled banana flowers. I didn't know you boiled banana flowers. I was frying them. Banana flour is like this, and it's red in color. And you cut it, and you basically make it like sabji, but boiled banana flowers. Mocha bhaja, fried banana flowers. This I know, mocha bhaja. And vivida shak, various shak vegetables. Then, vrida kushmanda badira, small pieces of fried dal mixed with the ripe pumpkin. Vyagyana, vegetables. Apara, unlimited, okay. Pula badi, small fried pieces of another kind of dal. Fruits, also. Roots, mula, and different kinds of roots. In India, they have this small brown roots. Other preparations include eggplant mixed with newly grown nimba leaves together, light body fried, patola and fry round of squash and pumpkin. There was a soup made with fried urad dal and mung dal, defeating nectar. There was also sweet chutney and 5 kinds of 600 preparations beginning with bada.
What,
Bada
600
mala.
preparations?
No, 5 or 6 preparations called bada mala. And there was then sweets, the sweet cakes made with sour rice water, sweet rice with milk, another preparation of milk and cakes. The different kind of cakes is that he is unable to describe all kinds of cakes. Then sweet rice mixed with ghee, condensed milk, and mango. I was thinking to offer mango today, but anyways, and this is all kinds of wonderful. There's a list going on and on very much all kinds of preparations. Then, on the 2 sides of the stack of food was pitchers filled with scented cold water. The flowers of the tulsi tree were placed atop the mount of rice. Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya included several types of food that are offered to Lord Jagannath. So he also brought some Mahaprasad from Jagannath temple. Then the list what kind of offering of Jagannath was there. When everything was ready, Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu came there alone after finishing his midday duties. Haribol. When everything was ready, Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu came there alone after finishing his midday duties. He knew the heart of Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya. Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu was a little astonished to see the gorgeous arrangement and gesture. He spoke to Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya. He was seeing all this amazing food, the mountains of food, and he would say, this is most uncommon. How was this arrangement of rice and vegetables finished within 6 hours? 6 hours is a long time. You can cook lots of preparation for 6 hours. So imagine how much food was there. Even 100 men cooking at 100 stoves could not possibly finish all these preparations within such a short time. He said, I hope the food has already been offered to Krishna since I see that tulsi flower on it. So everything we do, we offer to Krishna with tulsi flower. He said, the color of rice is so attractive and its aroma so good that it appears that Radha and Krishna have directly taken it. So Radha and Krishna like apparently rice. We know from also in the Caitanya-caritāmṛta and Madhya Lila, the witness Gopal, the Sakshi Gopal, when this one Brahmana there was some promises to give him daughter. Older Brahmana promised him. And he said, well, if you go back to our village, you may not remember. The young Brahmana said, you may not remember, so therefore, let's go in front of Gopal and he can be our witness that you promised to give me your daughter for marriage. So they said, okay. So they went in front of Diri's Gopal, and Gopal was, witnessing. And the Brahmana said, I promised to giving this young Brahmana my daughter in marriage. So they went their ways, and so then the young Brahmana went to the village. This was in South India. They walked a long time, and the man said, I don't remember that I gave you a promise. Because his family was pressuring him, you're not going to give our rich daughter to this poor Brahmana. You know, this is the Indian caste system. And so the old man, he didn't want to lie, but he had to because his family was pressuring him, blackmailing him. So the Brahmana said, I have witnesses. Who's your witnesses? My witness is Gopal. So they were all laughing. How can a deity be a witness? So then Brahmana went all the way back to Vrindavan. And then he spoke to Gopal. He said, my dear Gopal, this is such a situation. You're a witness. You have to be there to show that I was honest. So Gopal said, how can I go? I'm a deity. I cannot walk. And the Brahmana said, well, you speak to me. So therefore, if you speak, then you can also walk. So then, so Gopal said, okay, I will walk with you. I will walk behind you. And you have to cook for me every day 1 kilo of rice. This was the promise. So imagine how many days you have to cook every day a kilo of rice. So this is what Gopal ate, just kilo of rice. So this is what Krishna likes, apparently. Rice. In the West, we are not so much rice conscious. Sometimes, but not so much. I just was telling you, in my whole life, before I joined the Hare Krishna movement, maybe I ate 3 times in my life, in 20 years. Maybe not even that, maybe 2 times. Rice, who is eating rice? Pilaf, you know pilaf? You know pilaf? Anyways, it's
some dish.
dish with rice and something else. This is all. This is how I ate rice twice. And even then I was thinking, rice? We ate bread. Anyways, so Krishna likes rice apparently, and he ate every day 1 kilo of rice. So then he said, my dear Bhattacārya, how shall I praise you? I'm so fortunate to be able to take remnants of this food. He said, take away Krishna's sitting place and sit next to me. Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya said, it is not so wonderful, my Lord. Everything has been made possible by the energy of the mercy of he who will eat the food. So they realize that everything, all the ingredients come from Krishna and the energy comes from Krishna. So actually cooking for Krishna is not such a big deal because it's your energy anyways. And we know in Jagannath Puri, they offer apparently 56 preparations every day. And they offer from morning 3 something until evening 11:15 is the last offering. So all day long there's a food. Jagannath is eating all day long. And it says that in each holy dham, there's a, what is it? Mayapur is a holy name. One particular thing stands out as a most spiritual benefit. Holy name in Vrindavan is Yamuna, bathing in Yamuna, and in Puri is prasadam, Mahaprasadam, Jagannath. So whenever we go to Puri, we ask Brahmanas to bring us some prasadam. And there's all kinds of wonderful preparations. I did a few years ago. There was maybe 7, whatever, Corona time. We were in Switzerland, and Switzerland has installation of Jagannath, maybe 30 years in installation of Jagannath. So I thought, let me do something special for Jagannath. So I looked at online on YouTube all the original preparations what they cook in Puri temple. It was in Oriya, but you can kind of figure out how much they put to it. And in Switzerland, you can buy, it's a rich country, and there's all kinds of stuff. So I bought all this original, like a green papaya and things like this. And I made these preparations, what they cook in Jagannath Puri. And I realized I'd cook, I think, 8. And out of 8, I made 6 were sweet. Rice was sweet. Normal rice was sweet. Sabji was sweet. Everything was with ghare. Every prep was with ghare. Everything was sweet. Dal was sweet. Everything was sweet. Interesting. Their rice, there's a famous rice, this yellow rice, I forgot the name. And this is like so much ghare, they put really sweet. This is how Krishna like, apparently. Mode of goodness. And then Sārvabhauma said, my wife and I did not especially exert ourselves in the cooking, meaning we didn't put so much effort in the cooking. It is he, he by whose power the food has been prepared, he knows everything. Sārvabhauma said, now please take your lunch. Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya told Lord Chaitanya. All right, then Lord Chaitanya said, yes, it is the instruction of the Shastra to actually take prasadam. Then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, there is so much food that it is impossible for me to eat it all. And Bhattacārya replied, I know how much you can eat. He said, after all, Jagannath Puri, you eat 52 times a day. 52 times offerings. And each time you eat hundreds of buckets filled with prasadam. At Dvaraka, you keep 16,000 queens in 16,000 palaces. Also, there's 18 mothers and numerous friends and relatives of the Yadu dynasty. And then he goes on and on, glorifying Krishna's opulence, basically. And said, indeed, at the Govardhan Puja ceremony, you ate stacks of rice. This is another connection of prasadam and Krishna consciousness. Govardhan Puja. He said, you eat stacks of rice. There's not only one stack, but many stacks of rice. In comparison to that, this small quantity is not even nothing. So this is just 3 kilos of rice is not a big deal. And Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya was very... Lord Chaitanya smiled and sat down to eat. And then Bhattacārya first offered him Mahaprasadam from the temple. Anyways, and so on. Then his relative came and he offended Lord Chaitanya, how he's eating so much and so on and so forth. But the point is that seeing the quantity of food, he began to blaspheme. Maybe I'll say something about this. The nephew of Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya saw how much Lord Chaitanya is eating and he started criticizing. He said, this much food is sufficient to satisfy 10 or 12 men, and this sannyāsī is eating alone so much. As soon as this, Bhattacārya immediately took a stick and kicked him out. Anyway, so he was criticizing it. But the point is that the material world, there's always somebody who will criticize what we do. And if you do well, people criticize. If you don't do well, people criticize you. There was a story about father and son who walk with a horse. And the father was sitting on a horse and the son was walking because this is, appropriate overnight. So they go to one village and villagers, they just see this father. He's so cruel. This son, he is young, he needs to save energy. Your days are gone. You should let him sit on a horse and you walk. So the father said, okay, you're right. So son sat on a horse and the father walked. And the next village people say, just see this cruel son. Old man, he let old man walk and he's sitting on a horse. So they didn't know what to do. What should we do now? How about if we both walk and none of us? So they walked to the third village and the people said, just see these stupid people. They're so stupid. They have a horse and they are walking by the horse. So the point of the moral of the story is that no matter what you do, there will be somebody to criticize. Especially nowadays in the age of internet, so I saw something like really nice, some lecture or something really, and then somebody has to criticize. There was many, like 20, 30 or 50 nice reviews, and then one said, this is horrible, this is unacceptable. I was thinking, always somebody has to be a fly who flies to the dark spot. Yes. So we should, I know it's difficult to tolerate the insults, especially if you have a Kshatriya blood. Kshatriyas cannot tolerate the insults. But Brahmanas should tolerate insults. Shudras, they're insulted anyways by anybody, all the time, by the material nature first. And but we should try to just consider this. Even Caitanya Mahaprabhu, even God himself, people criticize. So, and this is who we are. We are the Hare Krishnas, and this is who we are, and this is what it is. We're eating food, we are doing who we are, we are dressed what we dress. We should not pretend to be somebody who we are not. We are who we are. If you like it, if you don't like it, don't like it. What can you do? There's so many other groups, there's so many, nowadays, particularly in the Western world, when the movement came, we were like, weird, wearing bed sheets and this and that. But now so many people wear bed sheets. Women will cover their heads, the burqa, how do you call this? And when we in Cologne, and now our temple is maybe 1 block, not even like 2 minutes, 1 minute away from the local mosque. So when the people come out of the mosque, some young people, I thought from a distance, oh, there's some new bhaktas, but because we look the same. They're all dressed in white like a dhoti, and they're shaved, and from a distance they look like us. So it's not like now we are not outlandish anymore. And also we were vegetarian in the 70s and 80s, and people thought, oh, how can you live being vegetarian? You'll die, you'll be anemic, or whatever. And now after so many years, people are still living vegetarian. And now the vegetarianism is picking up, and now suddenly, we are outdated. We should supposed to be vegan. Vegetarianism, wow, you're vegetarian? But so meaning we are not outlandish anymore, and so we are. And then vegan now looking down on us. Oh, you are taking the cow's milk, and milk is meant for the calf, not for you. This and that. So many examples. And but we are who we are. We are offering things to the Lord. We cook, we dance, we dress as we dress, and we are who we are, and this is what it is. And we should just push our own life. And how I said, the caravans are passing, but the dogs are barking. And as Lord Chaitanya saw when he was chasing his amoga, Lord Chaitanya was laughing. Lord Chaitanya would just laugh at this. Like when Lord Chaitanya would go, when he was taking initiation, he would go to Jaya, and he saw the Vishnu part, the foot of Lord Vishnu. And he said that Lord Chaitanya would approach all these pandas, the local brahmanas, were attacking him to give donation. And he said they were so aggressive. And I was thinking, even in Lord Chaitanya's time, they were aggressive. So it's nothing against us. This is how it is. When we go to Vrindavan, everybody wants to, feed a flower. Last time, or whenever time I was there, at this Vishram Ghat place, and then they offer me this plate with flowers to offer to Yamuna. I said, no money. You don't need to pay anything. No money. I said, come on, it's no money. And I said, no. And he said, take no money. You can just give for whatever you like, $300, $400, anything you like. I said, well, so, sometimes we get angry. But Lord Chaitanya, even in his time, he understood. This is how it is. These are people, and this is the material world. We just have to live our lives and go on and die in grace. And that's it. And we are who we are, and we are Hare Krishnas, and that's it. Yesterday we met one girl from Bangladesh, and she was very nice. And then she said, Anita said, we come often to Bengal. And she said, oh, really? Where you go? She said, Mayapur. She said, never heard. And she said, we are Hare Krishnas. And she said, oh, I'm Muslim. It was nice, but we are Hare Krishna. That's what we are. We are Hare Krishnas. And that's what it is. So Lord Chaitanya was Hare Krishna also. And we see how he acted, how he conducted his life. He ate lots of prasadam because he appreciated the Buddhist endeavor. And this is our movement. Our movement is prasadam, our movement is kirtan, and our movement is service and shastra. And this is who we are. Hare Krishna, Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu ki Jaya. Anything you would like to add, comment, question? Or question, not question.
Yeah, regarding the rice, is it like all the past times since it happened in India, and then mostly it was like the staple food is kind of rice, so that is why also a lot whenever there are pastimes, he asks for rice, so just because so that it becomes easy for the devotee to offer him what he has asked. If he asks, I don't know, wheat bread or something, then it would be.
I want whole wheat bread and with self gemalen meal. This is what Krishna eats, And they said the Krishna appears. Somebody asked him, Prabhupada, why the Krishna appears only in India? I said, this is it's not that Krishna appears in India. India is India because Krishna appears there. This is the point. Krishna appears in certain areas because he eats certain things because this is what he likes. And people eat rice there because Krishna likes to eat rice. And we offer pizzas here and breads and all kinds of things to Krishna. And I'm sure Krishna eats it. I heard many, many years ago, the deities in some Italian temple, Gornitai, that because they were offering him every day pizza, pasta, everyday pizza, and the deities on the end, they couldn't fit in the outfit. This is what I've heard. They have to sew a new outfit because the deities are a little bit pizza every day, I'm sure that they could adjust, but they could just gain a little weight. But this is what I've heard. I'm not speaking there. So I'm sure Krishna eats it. Why Krishna wouldn't eat pizza? Why wouldn't he? If it's tasty for us, why wouldn't we eat pizza? I was once in living in Radhakund, and I offer every day because it's Caitanya-caritāmṛta. I was a Govardhan Shila, and Caitanya-caritāmṛta said that Raghunath Goswami offered every day incense and water and tulsi leaves. And then after some time, Lord Chaitanya told him, now you can offer a sweet also. So I thought I should offer sweet to Giriraj every day. So I would go to a local shop and I would buy 2 sweets every morning and offer to Giriraj 2 sweets. And sometimes I buy this sweet and that sweet. And when I buy the milk sweet, I don't eat it because I know it's made of buffalo milk. Buffalo milk, yeah. But I asked, this is made of buffalo milk. So I would offer to Giriraj and I would give to kids. And then one devotee later on, I told him this, he was laughing. He said, Giriraj is tricking you. I said, how? He said, because you don't like buffalo sweets and you think that he doesn't eat buffalo sweets. But he eats buffalo sweets. Because actually in the Krishna book, when Krishna comes back from the pasture ground, it says there's a river, and this river is black and white. The white is the cows, the black is the buffaloes. So if he has so many buffaloes, I'm sure buffaloes are also given milk. So Krishna is probably eating buffalo milk. Why would he eat buffalo milk? We just don't offer to the deities buffalo milk. We have standards. But Krishna has goats. Krishna has a dog. So why wouldn't he? Anyways, Hare Krishna. Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu ki Jaya.